This is part 4 of Federalist 33. This is the last paragraph. Though a law, therefore, for laying a tax for the use of the United States would be supreme in its nature and could not legally be opposed or controlled, yet a law for abrogating or preventing the collection of a tax laid by the authority of a state, unless upon imports and exports, would not be the supreme law of the land, but a usurpation of power not granted by the Constitution. As far as an improper accumulation of taxes on the same object might tend to render the collection difficult or precarious, this would be a mutual inconvenience, not arising from a superiority or defeat of power on either side, but from an injudicious exercise of power by one or the other in a manner equally disadvantageous to both. It is to be hoped and presumed, however, that mutual interest would dictate a concert in this respect which would avoid any material inconvenience. The inference from the whole is that the individual state would, under the proposed Constitution, retain an independent and uncontrollable authority to raise revenues to any extent of which they may stand in need by every kind of taxation except duties on imports and exports. It will be shown in the next paper that this concurrent jurisdiction is the article of taxation. In the article of taxation was the only admissible substitute for an entire subordination in respect to this branch of power of the state authority to that of the Union. So he says, remember, just because the federal government can do something by law, it doesn't mean that state government cannot do it. And he looks at the tax on land. He says this is a concurrent power. So both the federal government and the state government can tax the land that one owns. But he says hopefully they'll be smart and won't tax it too much if it is both of them that are going to tax it. Because there comes a place where it would be just too difficult for people to pay. It says it's not illegal, it's legal, but it might not be smart. It might just not be convenient and expedient on people. So again, it's telling people that anti-federalists are scaring you, saying that the federal government is going to take all the laws, make all the laws, and take the state authority, state lawmaking away. He says, no, this is not at all. This is not at all the case. Like when it comes to taxing, the only taxes that state governments cannot pass laws for are on import and export, as the Constitution says. The Constitution already says that. It says that part is a no-no. You just don't go there as a state government. But everything else is okay, provided it's smart, it's expedient, it's wise. Because if you pass unwise laws, gradually, sooner or later, people will stop respecting that because they cannot follow it, they cannot do it, because if you tax them too much, then they'll just be too broke to have faith or trust in the government, to listen to the government, and you don't want to go that far to make the citizens not trust you. So tax if you need to. Nobody says that states can't tax where federal government can tax. And as long as you're wise and don't overtax, then you should be okay. Okay, please try to Make sure that you're reading these articles as you listen to me, as well as make sure that if you can, listen to the lectures by these historians that I have mentioned. There's lots of good talks available all over the place. So definitely check those out, and we will continue with Federalist 34 next time.